Dangi of Hungary, 150 earlier this year. Canadian record, Alex Bauman, 2:01.42. The lane assignments in lane 8, the top of the screen, Simon Percy of New Zealand. Puerto Rico's Manuel Guzman is in lane 7. Lane 6, the American, Eric Namesnick. In lane 5, Canada's Gary Anderson, a 22-year-old who swims out of Toronto. Darren Ward of Calgary is in lane 4. In lane 3, Dave Wharton of the U.S. Australia's Matthew Dunn in lane 2. And Toshiaki Kurosawa of Japan, a 15-year-old, is in lane number 1.
Well, the fastest qualifier in this very rich field of 200-meter individual medleys is the University of Calgary student Darren Ward. He's having a good meet. He's already won a bronze medal in his best time in the 200-meter individual medley. He was 4th in this event in 1989. He was 6th at the recent World Championships. His teammate is Gary Anderson out of Toronto, who was 4th at the World Championships, won a gold medal in this game at the Commonwealth Games. First time he ever won medals was at the Pan Pacs 2 years ago. The progression was to medal at the Pan Pacs, win gold at the Commonwealth Games, and then come to this point and challenge this man here, Eric Namesnick, who was silver at the World Championships. Gary Anderson was just behind this boy at the World Championships in 4th place. Namesnick now one of the fastest individual medley swimmers in the world from the United States, but the man with the world record in 1989 at this event at the Pan Pacs was David Wharton. He's coming in here with a slow morning time. He's a little bit off form, but you can never trust the guy that's held the world record and has the 2nd fastest time ever in the 200-meter individual medley.
Gary will certainly know because he's his roommate at USC. But the man to watch might be Namesnick.
Wharton is in lane number 3. Ward is in lane 4. Gary Anderson is in lane 5. Eric Namesnick, who they call Snick for short, is in lane number 6. Lane 1 is at the bottom.
Take your marks.
Here's a question for you. With Namesnick being in lane 6, will that be good or bad for Gary Anderson?
Well, it was very interesting. Namesnick is in lane number 6. He tied for 4th after the morning preliminaries. He could have ended up in lane number 6 or over in lane number 2, and it's probably a benefit to have the swimmer right next to Gary Anderson and closer to Darren Ward so they can see him when it comes down to the push at the finish of the race as opposed to way across the pool.
Well, they throw the 50 on the fly, and into touch is Gary Anderson, 26:44. Namesnick was at 27:08, not a very good comparison there because there are different strengths and different strokes for these swimmers.
Well, that is a bit slow for Namesnick. Namesnick is a phenomenal backstroker. If Namesnick's going to win this thing, he's got to get up with Gary Anderson in the backstroke, and Gary knows that he's a good backstroker. There they are right now. Here comes Namesnick. Anderson has to stay up on Namesnick at this point.
Well, as they come through the final 5 on the backstroke, it's Gary Anderson. You see on the touch, he makes the turn at 57:49. Namesnick in second at 58:28. Now you'll hear the crowd starting to get everybody going as they charge through. It is Anderson, Namesnick, Ward, the middle lanes of the pool are the ones with all the fun.
And David Wharton, the world record holder in '89, and second at the Olympic Games, has fallen off the pace. Good shot at Gary Anderson. Now there needs to be good concentration. He knows the race is on both sides of him. He's a good freestyler, but so is Namesnick. Right now it's a question of he's got to have faith in the training, faith in what he's done, and race all the way home. Darren Ward, the same thing in 3rd place. Wharton's just below him out of the picture. Ward can have his good time here, but the battle's for the gold medal.
7/100ths between Anderson and Namesnick. It is a battle of the two of them. Will it be Canada or will it be Namesnick of the U.S.? Gary Anderson coming through the final meters, stroke for stroke with Eric Namesnick, and it's going to be at the touch. It is Gary Anderson of Canada. The first goal of the Pan Pacific Championships goes to Gary Anderson over Eric Namesnick. 2:02.93 for Gary Anderson. A terrific race. I don't think you could ask for anything better. Head-to-head competition with one of the hot shots swimming, and Gary Anderson has established himself as being right there as they aimed at 92.
Well, it was good concentration all the way. Anderson moved on the butterfly, which he wanted to do, knowing Namesnick was a great backstroker and a great freestyler, stayed ahead of him on the breaststroke, and then they just battled it all the way, and Anderson comes over quicker with the left hand. Notice that Namesnick came over with a big left hand, wide arching, and Anderson bent his left arm underwater. See if you can see it right here. Anderson's going to come over. They're way up at the top there. Finish with the right, then they'll pull with the right underwater, and the left hand above the water is going to come over very quick. And that is going to be the gold medal touch-out.
So for Canada, gold #1 for the Pan Pacific Championships in Edmonton. Anderson wanted this gold.
Gary Anderson said after 1988 his plan was that he had to get to the podium in the Pan Pacs.
Well, he is there. You can't get much higher than this part of the podium. Eric Namesnick of the U.S. for the silver, and the bronze to the United States, David Wharton. Still to come.